Hi again. So it's time for some more soul empowering hypnosis. And tonight's session, we're going to hang out with a really incredible spirit animal, the fox. So tonight's session is sure to be full of a lot of intuition and then also our other senses, which are also very, very valuable to be very in tune with. All right. So today's date is June 7th, 2025. And the page numbers we'll be drawing from in this amazing book, Animal Spirit Guides by Dr. Stephen Farmer. The pages of Fox are 137 and 138. And so the bullet points for Fox say, if Fox shows up, it means trust your intuition and be wary of someone you're involved with who's attempting to trick you in some way. Next bullet point, your intelligence and ingenuity are more useful right now than confrontation and righteousness. And I would like to add the addition and unhelpful emotions. Now, of course, emotions are great, but have you ever been in an argument with somebody and your emotions get too elevated to the point where you don't even remember what you just said? You don't remember what the other person just said. Your amygdala is going off so much that really, truly, your memory is not even being able to form. And it puts you in a very vulnerability is great. This is not a good vulnerable. Your unhelpful, unnecessary, heightened emotions put you in a very vulnerable position because you're not really able to advocate very well for yourself because there is like a feral part of you that's defending you. And there is a time and a place for that. Like if you're being attacked, go full feral. You know what I mean? But if you're just having a heated debate with somebody that doesn't even need to be heated, you could just express yourself calmly and get your point across even better. Really pay attention to those moments. The reason that I bring it up and I'm so emphatic about it is that, I mean, I still have a feral animal in here. Let's be honest. It'll always be with me, and I'll always be grateful that she's in there. Because if I ever need her, or if somebody who's close to me ever needs her, they'll be very happy that she exists. So my shadow self is very like, eh. But I used to be very hot tempered in an incredibly unnecessary way. It wasn't helpful. It was just alienating to those around me. And so I speak from a lot of firsthand experience about those moments of unhelpful, heightened emotions where you really can't even remember what's being said. And another reason that, and this is probably the final thing that I'll say about this, and one of the main reasons that I even want to mention it to you is that as I've gone on this healing journey through hypnotherapy, I've noticed that I've gotten a lot calmer. And when you get a lot calmer, you start to notice that those things that were and are still very important to you, and that's why you were getting heated. That's why your emotions were getting so elevated, because those things are very important to you. As I was saying earlier, you put yourself in a really vulnerable position because you actually, I'm going to use a really lazy term, you can't win. Like you cannot win that conversation. And I really don't even mean that term as win or lose. I mean win as in you won't be heard, you won't get what you want, you won't even remember what the other person was saying because your amygdala was going off so much. So you can't even really truly process the exchange. So you can't even make progress so that the next time this really important topic comes up, you won't even be able to speak about it any more clearly because you didn't actually learn or understand what was happening in that conversation in the first place because your emotions had taken over. So when I say win, I mean that you've made zero progress in getting closer to the thing that is so important to you. You've actually pushed it further away because you don't have a deeper understanding of what's going on, and you've alienated the person that you needed to actually be closer to your viewpoint on the topic. And so, again, as I've gotten healthier and calmer and more confident during my hypnotherapy journey, I realized that whenever, especially like let's say that you're in a long-term relationship and you're doing a lot of healing throughout the course of that relationship. And so you're used to having back and forths with a certain person, you'll see how the dynamic changes to where in the beginning, you could never win an argument because you weren't even really present for the argument and you couldn't improve any for the next argument. And then slowly over time, you're very present for it's not even an argument anymore. The other person might be trying to turn it into an argument because they haven't done their healing. And they're so steeped in the habits that the two of you have created together that they'll just slide right into argument mode because they're also not aware of what's going on because they haven't done their healing. And so you can watch them get into their elevated emotions, but you're staying really calm, you're staying really present, and you win the conversation every single time at that point because you're really listening to everything that they're saying. You're making note of each of their points, and you have a really helpful counterpoint to help them see and understand your point of view. So it's really remarkable to see how you go from winning nothing and actually pushing the person further away to being able to assess everything and strategically analyze everything and come out. And again, it's not a win or lose, but come out on top in terms of you can actually express yourself in a way that gets heard. You can actually make progress so that this thing that's important to you, that the needle moves, or just like you just completely get what you want because you understand how to express yourself in a more effective way. And then the final thing that I'll say, because I think it's kind of funny, when you get calm, you also start to see the other person's blind spots, like the BS that they tell themselves. And you couldn't hear it before because you were telling yourself so much of your own BS. Like you were so covered up that you couldn't perceive what they were doing. And one funny thing that Charles, the husband, and I were joking about when he was visiting a few days ago is he's such a contrarian and antagonist that back in the day when we were still together and I had already been doing my healing, but he hadn't bothered because he thinks he's perfect. So why does he need to heal, right? One thing that I noticed back in the day is that he would always side opposite of what I was saying. So if I said something was black, he would immediately say it was white. If I said it was white, and it could be the same exact thing, it's just whatever I said, he had to go the opposite. So if I said it was white, he would have to say it was black. And so because I was calm and keeping present and aware, I started to notice, oh, he just goes in the opposite direction every time. And then I have to do so much heavy lifting to try to move him over to my side of things. And he does eventually make it there because my side of things really is right. And here's proof that I'm not just being cocky or arrogant or biased. It really is like so right that this technique worked. And you can use it too if you have somebody like this in your life. So what I learned to do is instead of saying what I thought about something or what I wanted or, whatever it was, instead of outright declaring the thing that I thought, I would instead ask him, not revealing anything about what I thought or felt about it. I would instead ask him what he thought or felt about it and let him think he was making the decision. And if left alone and having no idea what my opinion was about it, then he would every single time come to the decision immediately that I already agreed with. Like that's how much of a contrarian he was. And that's how right I was, that as soon as I just pulled back and didn't let him know anymore what my opinion was, smooth sailing. There's no way I could have gotten there in terms of that strategy if I had stayed in my heightened emotions. So again, such a huge perk for being very healed through hypnotherapy is that you stay present, you stay less reactive, you're able to really, really experience what's happening with the interaction. So I hope that's helpful for you because it took me, I don't know, at least a decade to figure that out. So it's like 10 years, 10 minutes. I hope that this was helpful. Okay, let's see if there's anything else that we're going to do. All right, so we talked about the unhelpful emotions. And so that's tying back again to that bullet point where the fox says your intelligence and ingenuity are more useful right now than your confrontation and righteousness. And like I said, and I want to add, and unhelpful emotions. The other bullet point that I think we're going to focus on, let me rephrase that, the main bullet point that I know we're going to focus on is that final one that says, listen and hear, look and see, sense and feel. Trust your senses to guide you. We haven't really done a session like this before where we've tapped into the five senses, right? So tapping into seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. We've tapped into the wisdom centers. So the mind, the heart, the gut, the body, the soul. But we haven't really tapped into the five senses. And you guys know me, I love the body. Like, I really think it is just an extraordinary teammate. I'm so grateful to it. We treat it well, it treats us well, right? And so I think today is going to be a really, really interesting and fun session where we're tapping into those five senses. And frankly, I don't think I've ever done this self-guided. I don't think I've ever done this as somebody else's client. So this is a first for me as well, which I think is going to be really, really great and interesting. So let's go ahead and do it. So get nice and cozy, get ready for some hypnosis. Go ahead and grab your favorite pillow, your favorite blanket. While you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and remind you how to work with me. If you want to book a one-on-one session, you just go to CourtneyStarkey.com. You can book a one-on-one session there. You can also sign up for the SEH Soul Empowering Hypnosis Certification Training Program when you're there. And then the main thing that I want to highlight to you today, and again, it's Saturday, June 7th, 2025. The main thing I want to highlight to you today is that tomorrow is our once monthly group hypnosis event through my SEH Soul Empowering Hypnosis membership. And when you're in that group hypnosis event, it's very different than the way that these are structured through YouTube. So they're through Zoom, which means we can actually interact with each other. Like, you can come on camera if you want, you can ask questions, you can share information. You don't have to, but you can. And so it's a much more intimate and a much deeper dive. So the session's more like an hour long as opposed to when we're about half an hour or so for these sessions. And then the other really remarkable thing whenever you're in the membership and you attend these sessions live is that you get to experience a psychometry exercise. And if you have not experienced one of those, you really, really should. When I say that it's life-changing, I actually really mean that with no exaggeration whatsoever. Psychometry is very life-changing. It's a real game changer. You'll very much appreciate having experienced that as part of the group session. So again, you just go to my website, CourtneyStarkey.com. You click on the group membership tab, and that is what will take you into the membership. And once you sign up for the membership, you have it for a whole month. And then if you want to, it keeps renewing so that you're part of the membership indefinitely. And then once you join, you also have immediate access to the archives of the group hypnosis recordings, the events, the sessions from the last couple of years. So it's got a lot to it that is very, very helpful and very accessible. It's easy, it's fun, it's really enjoyable. So I hope that you join. Tomorrow, because it's my birthday month, so I'm going to do something that's extra special to me. And I know that's going to be really helpful for you guys as well. Tomorrow, we're going to do a deep dive into our connection with the Greek mythology family. Now, I know that not everybody is connected to the Greeks, but most of you are. Like, if you're watching me and you're interested in the work that I'm doing, you're probably in the fam. So you're probably part of the Greek mythology family. But that doesn't mean that you're for sure in that family. Maybe you're connected more to the Egyptians, for example. Or maybe your soul is just like, I don't need to do the deities at all. And it instead pays closer attention to the angels or the dragons or the fairies, or, it's part of that family instead. So even if you're not part of the Greek family, there's a high chance, because, we're vibing. So there's a very high chance, but if you're not, it's okay, because the session will not exclude you in any way. I'll make sure that I structure it in a way where you can be included and you can also connect in deeply with the family that your soul does want you to connect with during the session. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and do some hypnosis with the fox and our five senses. So I'm going to go ahead and close my eyes along with you. And beginning to enjoy the feeling of having your eyes closed. And beginning to focus on your breathing, which should be deep and regular, from way down to way up. And as you're taking those nice, deep, relaxing breaths, go ahead and begin to really feel, really enjoy the nourishing oxygen, the peaceful energy that flows in with each in-breath. And with each exhaling breath, beginning to really feel, really enjoy the feeling of letting go, releasing, relaxing more and more with each out breath. And every single out breath, each exhale, taking you deeper and deeper and deeper into relaxation, into connection. And as you continue to enjoy those nice, deep, relaxing breaths, go ahead and invite in a really warm, loving, protecting energy. And this energy of protection begins to flow in through the top of your head. You may notice a color or a light, or it may feel warm as it flows through the top of your head, all the way down your entire body. All the way down to the tips of your toes, so that your entire body is filled, bathed with this warm, loving, protecting energy. So much so that you begin to glow and radiate a halo of protection all the way around your entire body, as you get to enjoy feeling so calm, so safe, so peaceful, and so protected. And as you continue to enjoy that wonderful feeling, go ahead and from your heart, send out this invitation, this request to your soul, your guides, your spirit friends, your spirit animals, including the fox. Just letting them know these words from your heart. I am open and I am ready for the loving energy, the heightened intuition, the beautiful connection to your senses, and all of the beautiful progress. I am open and I am ready. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and from your heart, invite in the spirit animal fox, knowing that when it's here, maybe you will see it or hear it or sense it or feel it or just know that it's there. And however the fox comes in, go ahead and ask it, what would you like to share with me? Knowing that it may be wisdom or maybe energy or something different. But asking the fox now from your heart, what would you like to share with me? And we're going to sit quietly for a couple of minutes. And remember, you can always ask follow-up questions and clarifying questions if you ever want to know more. Sitting quietly for a couple of minutes now. Really enjoy. Taking a few more moments. And knowing that we're going to be tuning in very deeply to the five senses, let's go ahead and begin with the sense of sight. So bringing your attention, your focus, your awareness to your ability to see, to your eyes. And even though your eyes are closed, you can still do this very easily. And if you want to open your eyes, you can. And that's just fine too. So bringing your awareness, focus, attention, energy to your eyes and your ability to see. And we're going to ask a couple of really nice questions. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and ask your eyes, what would it like for you to know? Like, what is something that it's wanted you to know for a while, but you've never asked? And now it's finally the opportunity for it to share with you. So asking your sight, your eyes, what do they want you to know? We're going to sit quietly for several moments and just find out, what do they want to share with you that's important? I'm taking a few more moments. And then whenever you're ready, go ahead and ask your sight, your eyes, what do they want you to see? And allow your eyes to interpret that however they want. So maybe it's that they want you to look at something pretty or cute, or maybe they want you to see a color differently. Maybe they want you to see a different perspective. So just let the eyes play with that question and answer it however they want to. So what would they like for you to see? We're going to sit quietly for several moments as you find out. Taking a few more moments. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and ask your soul, your guides, the fox, ask them to send your eyes, your sight, extra energy, really helpful energy. We'll sit quietly for a few moments as you receive this really helpful extra energy for your seeing, for your sight, for your eyes. Enjoy. Taking a few more moments. And whenever you're ready, let's go ahead and do the same thing, but this time for your ears and your ability to hear. So let's ask that. Well, actually, first, turn your attention, your focus, your awareness to your ears, to your hearing. And let's ask your ears, your hearing, what would they like for you to know? Because again, this is maybe the first time that this part of you has had an opportunity to speak. So what would your ears, your hearing like for you to know? Taking a few more moments. And now asking that same second question, and this time asking your ears, your ability to hear, what would they like for you to hear? And again, letting your ears interpret that question however they want. So maybe they want to hear different music. Maybe they want to hear the energy of truth versus the energy of lies, so better discernment. Maybe they want to hear more positive self-talk for you. So again, letting the ears interpret that question however they think is most important. So what would your ears like for you to hear? We'll sit quietly for a few moments as you receive. Taking a few more moments. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and ask your soul, your guides, your team, the fox, to send you really helpful energy for your ears and your ability to hear. So ask to receive that helpful energy now. Really enjoy. Taking a few more moments. And now, whenever you're ready, go ahead and turn your attention, your awareness, your focus to your nose and your ability to smell. And asking that same first question, asking your nose, what would it like for you to know? It's probably never been asked anything before, so what would your nose, your sense of smell, really like for you to know now that you're listening? Taking a few more moments. And again, asking that same second question, which is asking your nose, your sense of smell, what would it like for you to smell? And so, again, this could be interpreted in a variety of ways. It could be smelling if something is suspicious or fishy, smelling if something has gone off and is bad, it's rotten. So, or it could be stopping and smelling the roses, right? Like there are many ways that that can be interpreted. So just go ahead and ask your nose, your sense of smell, how does it want to interpret that question? What would it like for you to smell? Taking a few more moments. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and ask to receive really good, really helpful energy for your nose, for your sense of smell, asking your soul, your guides, your spirit friends, the fox, to send you really helpful energy for your nose and sense of smell. Enjoy. Taking a few more moments. And now, whenever you're ready, turning your attention, your focus, your awareness to your mouth, your tongue, your taste buds, your ability to taste. And so again, asking that first question, what would your tongue, your mouth, your taste buds like for you to know? Taking a few more moments. And whenever you're ready, asking that second question, what would your mouth, your tongue, your taste buds like for you to taste more of? and letting them interpret that question however they would like, because maybe they want you to taste the metaphorical sweetness of life. Maybe they want you to eat healthier and taste more vegetables. So just asking them, what would they like for you to taste? Enjoy. Taking a few more moments. And now asking to receive really helpful energy to your taste buds, your mouth, your tongue, your ability to taste. So asking your soul, your guides, your spirit friends, the fox, for really helpful energy for your sense of taste. Enjoy. Taking a few more moments. And whenever you're ready, we're going to focus on that final of the 5 senses. And this is the sense of touch. So bringing your attention, your focus, your awareness to the sense of touch. And now asking this sense, these parts of you that can do the touching, asking that first question, what would they like for you to know? Taking a few more moments. And whenever you're ready, asking that sense of touch, those parts of you that are able to touch, what would they like for you to touch more of? So allowing them to interpret that however they want. There's so many things that you could touch. So for example, really appreciating a soft fabric, or petting your pet more, or getting a stuffed animal out of storage and hugging it, or touching the warm blades of grass on a sunny day, or placing your hands to your heart and touching your heart in a really, really loving way. So just asking your sense of touch, what would it like for you to touch more? Taking a few more moments. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and ask your soul, your guides, your spirit friends, the fox, to send you really good, really helpful energy for your sense of touch. Taking a few more moments. And knowing that we're going to be bringing you back in just a moment, go ahead and send a lot of love, a lot of gratitude to your soul, your guides, your spirit friends, including the fox, and allowing them to reciprocate and to send their love, their appreciation to you as well. And knowing that when you are back in just a few moments, that all of your day-to-day activities will return just like normal. So driving, grocery shopping, dialing phone numbers, all of that will return just like normal. And you'll also come back in a way where this access, this connection, these beautiful energies, these heightened, really positive and powerful sensations will stay open and accessible to you at whatever percentage feels good to you. So beginning the process now, coming back to this time, this place, the cozy cushions underneath you, returning your focus, your awareness to the sounds inside of the room and the sounds outside of the room. And also returning your focus and your awareness to your wonderful body and your wonderful breathing. And now as you're paying attention to your breathing, really feeling the enlivening energy that flows in with each in-breath. Really feeling the energy that flows in through your nose and your mouth and the way that it feels in your body and those sensations as that oxygen flows in with each in-breath. Really hearing the sounds of the inhale and the exhale and noticing just how wonderful and amazing all of your senses are and your body is overall. And taking 2, 3, or 4 more really energizing, really enthusiastic, really appreciative in-breaths. And then opening your eyes, wide awake and alert, and all the way back now. Welcome back. Whew, that was a long one. That made up for yesterday being a short one. So the average is definitely there. Okay, let's see who we are working with tomorrow. Oh, cute. Frog. Okay. That's going to be really, oh my God, look at this cute picture. He's so cute. Okay, well, that's who we get to hang out with tomorrow, which is going to be really, really nice. And I hope that we get to hang out twice tomorrow. I hope that you sign up for the Soul Empowering Hypnosis group hypnosis membership. It's going to be a really great session. It starts at 11 a.m. Pacific, and we'll be together for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And so you'll have plenty of time between that one wrapping up and then our session with the frog starting at 6 p.m. Pacific. So guys, it's going to be a really, really fun day tomorrow, and I hope you get to join me twice. It'll be really, really special. All right, I'll see you in about, well, depending on which one you join, but I'll see you soon. Okay, have a wonderful night, and I'll see you very soon. Love you guys. Bye.